What's going on, Junkie Nation? George and Goes are back delivering yet another star from the PFL. This time we get to talk to Stevie Ray, light former UFC veteran, now in the playoffs over at PFL, facing off against Anthony Pettis. Fights take place on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern start time for the main card. Welcome back, Stevie Ray. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Doing good. You like running it back against someone that quick? You just fought 2 months ago. You won. So, I guess this is, I think, a more applicable question for you, really.
Running it back specifically with Pettis, do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I feel like it's maybe in my favour a little bit. I beat him. What will it be? 4 weeks ago, roughly. And yeah, it's given me the confidence, obviously, to know that I can win again. Fortunately, I've came out no injuries. Just straight back to camp, and yeah, I'm feeling even better this time. So yeah,
Yeah. I guess what I was trying to get at, maybe I didn't phrase it right. This would have been a great final, in my opinion, a little bit of a buildup. So, like for example, American football, a key game during the season can lead to like a really, really huge buildup for a playoff game. And so, you two obviously are established veterans in mixed martial arts. I would have liked to have seen this one in the final, but hey, you guys have to get down in the semis.
yeah, that's it. To be honest, I'd rather get Martinez in the final if that's possible, because he's got a win over me in the first fight. So I like the way it's played out as well. I just beat Pettis. I know I can beat him again, so I've got to go and try and beat him again. And then yeah, it'd be cool if Martinez won in his fight, so that then I get a chance at redemption against him. But um, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm obviously just focusing on Pettis to try and beat him again.
If you go back and look at your record in MMA, sprinkled in is other combat sports you've competed in, like grappling tournaments or whatever, or grappling shows. You've hit that modified twister before.
Yeah, I hit it a lot. It wasn't a mistake. I landed on guys in the gym. All my teammates would have been watching, and as soon as I got the body triangle, even before he turned, most of my teammates probably knew the fight was over. Um, yeah, obviously need to be very careful with it in training. It's a spine lock. And yeah, I also hit on Polaris. Just slightly different on Polaris against Craig Ewers, who's a judo and BJJ black belt. So he didn't turn up on top of me. I forced it. So it was a little bit more traditional twister style. But again, it was from the body triangle with the leg on the inside. So if they don't turn up into you, I can still finish it. And if they do turn up to try and get on top, I can finish it that way as well. So yeah, I've hit it twice in competition.
He told us yesterday, we spoke to him yesterday, he was very respectful towards you, towards the submission, no excuses at all. Um, he did feel like maybe via either his past fights or some training he had been doing, that maybe you were doing some scouting. Maybe you may have been a step ahead. Do you follow fighters usually to see what they're doing, or did he
Nah,
just maybe?
nah, I know what he's meaning. So he posted. I did see the video. He posted, said it works every time when he escapes the body triangle.
Mhm.
But that's not, that was literally a week before. I've not managed to pull that off watching that video. I already knew. Obviously, I'm not stupid. I went and watched some of his fights. One of my teammates, actually, Kieran Reid. So shout out to him, my teammate Kieran Reid at Higher Level MMA. He specifically sent me some videos and told me that Anthony Pettis escapes the back by kind of twisting, and that he's injured himself doing it before. But Kieran obviously knows I do that twister, and I've hit against Kieran, and I've hit in training a lot. So he was like, "You can definitely hit this against Pettis if you get his back. He will turn." So that's even before he's posted his little video where he said it worked every time. I mean, I've watched some footage of him, knew he did it, and knew it was a possibility that of me catching him with that. So I know he probably thinks that it's because he posted a video a week before, but obviously I'm going to do my studying a little bit, watch his fights, and yeah.
Tell me about this first year with PFL. What's it been like for you? You fought in other organizations, not just UFC, and other organizations. And how does the PFL hold up for you, your experience?
Yeah, like this year in the PFL has just been, I'm so grateful that, I've got this opportunity again with the PFL. Um, you know, Thanks to Peter and Ray and everybody at PFL for giving me that opportunity to be back fighting. Um, yeah, obviously a couple of years ago I was told that I probably should never fight again. My knee injury was, I had bad knees and they didn't see it as a quick fix. There was the whole release thing with the UFC, and that was coming off the biggest win in my career, a decision win over Michael Johnson. So going from that, I was a bit depressed, to be honest. I wasn't sure what was going to be happening. But I love just proving people wrong, just like the win over Pettis. I'm now about to fight next week for the third time in 4 months, which proves, that I'm obviously healthy. Never mind to just fight normally, 3 times a year. I've just done 3 fights, or will have done 3 fights in 4 months. So, yeah, but in regards to PFL, the professionalism, it just feels pretty much like being in the UFC. I mean, they're right up there at the top. They're doing everything that the UFC did, so it doesn't really feel any different. Both obviously are very professional and top quality.
Stevie, do you feel like this is almost like an extra round? In other words, do you feel like much needs to change as far as your preparation for him, and on his side, his preparation for you, seeing that the fight was not that long ago?
Well, the way I look at the fight, I mean, I didn't even plan on taking it to the ground. It was just one of those ones. I didn't have a specific game plan. It was to go in and win. I feel well rounded enough to be able to win on the feet or on the ground. Like, yeah, I went for a couple of takedown attempts, but you could see watching the fight, I wasn't desperate for a takedown. He went for a couple of takedown attempts, so did I. I was pressing with the boxing. Yeah, it was a mix. Like the first round, I feel was close. Looking back, I think the I can't remember what it's called, but the PFL's system gave me the round. I think the fans maybe gave it to him. I'm not sure the way it worked, but it was a close round. The first round, most of the stuff I feel like he landed, it didn't phase me. Like even the very first kick that he threw, the kind of hook kick, axe kick, it didn't really land. The big spinny kick that they've played on the highlights, it hit my guard. So yeah, it looked flashy, but yeah, nothing really phased me. Maybe a couple of shots. Obviously, I felt, but I felt comfortable in there. I didn't feel out of my phase, and yeah, like I said, the reason I ended up on the ground in the end is because he took me down. So I'm pretty much going in there with the same idea again. I'm gonna try and fucking knock him out or submit him, whatever. I know I could beat him on the feet or on the ground. So I know obviously he's a dangerous opponent, and he's very good. Obviously I respect him, but yeah, he doesn't need or want this as much as me, and that's going to be the factor.
Stevie, he's a veteran of the sport. He's a professional, but he's also human. Do you think when you see him face to face, you'll be able to tell whether or not maybe you occupy a little space in his head right now?
Yeah, of course I will. I mean, the way I see it, I just beat him 4 weeks ago. He'll remember, you know, certain parts of the fight. When we get to the square offs again, he'll see in my eyes that, you know, I'm here for, you know, I'm here to fight. I'm not here to just show up, you know, to be, because obviously he's the big name, he's the big draw. Probably works out better for everyone if he wins, but I'm here to take that away. And I'm sure he'll remember the first fight. You know, I watched an interview back. He said that he never made never cut any corners. He was in, you know, brilliant shape, and I beat him. This time, I don't believe that he's even been able to train as hard. He was probably injured for a couple of weeks after that fight, you know, with the rib injury. Whereas I was completely fresh. I was, you know, I went away for a couple of days, straight back to training. I'm even sharper this time. I feel like he's maybe had to be careful with his ribs during the fight camp. So maybe no, but I beat him the first time when he was completely fresh and no injuries. So I'm confident I could do it again, regardless of how his fight camp has went.
Should be a great fight. And I want to make a correction. It's Friday, ESPN at 7 p.m. Eastern start time for the main card. The main event features Stevie Ray, our guest here, against Anthony Pettis. They're running back a regular season matchup in which Stevie submitted Anthony Pettis. Stevie, you brought it up earlier, and I guess I wanted to ask. I remember you the retirement with the knee injuries, but you said there was a release. So technically, was it a release and not a retirement, or did they just not elect to re-sign you because you were coming off a win?
It was a very complicated situation. I hate even talking about it because I don't want to get in trouble. You know, from, you know, my manager or you know, I didn't want to speak shit about anybody. But after the Michael Johnson fight, I signed a new 4-fight deal with the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fresh 4-fight contract. Then weird stuff started happening. You know, they were saying about my knees, which I did have a knee injury. I had to pull out against Mark Diakese on UFC London. The show that I was supposed to fight him on ended up getting cancelled anyway, the whole show, due to COVID. I pulled out before the show got cancelled. But yeah, I did have a knee injury. And yeah, I remember my manager, Ali Abdelaziz, was saying that, you know, there was just complications. No going into it too much. He asked me if I would like to maybe fight elsewhere. So there was talks of that. You know, I said, obviously, it depends on how much money other people were offering, but I was happy with the UFC. And yeah, it was this whole thing with my knees. And to be honest, my knees weren't great. And there maybe wasn't a short-term fix. Yeah, but that's kind of what happened. I ended up then emotionally retiring. I ended up saying, you know what, fuck MMA. I was a bit depressed about, you know, being released, if you want to put it that way. Yeah. There was also supposedly complications with my visa. So sometimes I struggle to get a visa straight away because, you know, I've got a criminal record from years ago for fighting, typically. But I mean, PFL's just showed that, you know, it wasn't impossible. I mean, I've got a 4-year work visa in the US now. My knees are completely healthy. My whole body's healthy. I proved it by fighting for the 3rd time in 4 months. So yeah, that's just kind of what happened then. And like I said, I'm grateful to the PFL for giving me the opportunity and being back fighting, back to where I belong. Because when I retired, you know, it was just an emotional decision. It was, you know, I was a bit pissed off with everything that had happened. Yeah. You know, I put my life into MMA, like most MMA fighters will know, the sacrifice and everything you have to do. It takes absolute years to get to the top. I got to the top. I had a 7-4 UFC record. Yep. Which isn't too bad. I fought some top quality names. You know, I had some good wins as well. And the last fight was a win over Michael Johnson, which I believe was the biggest win of my career.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a wee bit of a roller coaster. But again, I've not got any bad words against the UFC. You know that my knee was bad at the time. It's now better. And again, I'm grateful to the PFL for giving me the opportunity and being there. So yeah, now it's like Stevie Ray 2.0. I feel like I've got a wee chip on my shoulder where I just want to. I've had to prove to the world that I'm no done. This is what I should be doing in my life, and I'm coming to win that $1 million.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm glad you connected the dots for us. See, we used to cover Cage Warriors back in the day on MMA Junkie, so a lot of you fighters, we, I guess, carry a little bit of an extra, carry you guys a little bit extra, cheer for you guys maybe on the side, going back to many fighters, and so knowing you since then seeing you succeed in the UFC. I think you started off 5-1. I remember wins over Lazan and Ross Pearson. I remember you closed with a win over Michael Johnson. You were in your late 20s, and I thought, that's bizarre because the UFC has loved the stars from the UK. But hey, the past is the past. You're here now. You're in a semifinal against Anthony Pettis, and you own a win over Anthony Pettis. So the very, very impressive 2.0 that you're on.
Exactly.
Just wanted to tell you, I was looking back at your Instagram, the picture of you and the family at the Minions watch at the theater. You have a beautiful family. I'm glad everything's going good. No more fighting on the streets. No more Glasgow kisses. I know what those are. And now positive, positivity going forward in your career as a prize fighter. So congrats.
That's it, man. I mean, everything's going well just now. The way I see it, I'm back doing what I love doing. My last 5 competitions, I'm 5-0. 2 of them have been grappling. If you go back to, I've got the submission
win heel hook, right?
Submission win over Paddy Pimlet.
Yeah, the heel hook.
And then Craig Ewers. And then obviously... my last 5 competitions, I'm 4-1. I've got the loss to Alexander Martinez, but
I think I saw you deal a heel hook against Paddy, right? In grappling.
Yeah, it was like a flying scissor entry.
Yeah.
So
slick.
I can't remember what you call it. There's a Japanese name for it. But yeah, I tried it twice and never got it, and it was a good match. And then eventually I managed to get the submission. And then that was just before the Johnson fight. So then I beat Johnson. Obviously, I had a big, huge layoff, which I feel just making excuses. Martinez brought it and he got the win, but I was off for 2.5 years when I fought him. So I had a bit of ring rust. And like I said, I might end up meeting him in the final. So
yeah. That'll be big. 2 big fights on the horizon. And just so everybody knows, hopefully I got it right. Stevie can correct me. The Glasgow kiss is the headbutt, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Glasgow kiss.
I don't want anyone thinking you're out all over town kissing people. All right. Stevie, thanks for the time. Good luck on Friday. We'll be tuning in.
Thank you, man.